Hey, soul babes. Welcome to the Essence Podcast. I'm your host, Riss, and in this space, consider me your intuitive bestie here, giving you the tools, knowledge, and wisdom you need to reconnect back to your essence. This podcast is all about helping you remember that you are a unique soul on your own unique journey, and I'm here as your guide, as your bestie, helping you rediscover that once you start becoming your own greatest case study, you begin to stop looking outside of yourself. Yes, you begin to create a life that truly reflects who you are from the most authentic, truest form of you, aka your essence. And in this week's episode, I'm speaking on the topic of clarity beyond deception. This is a DJ mix that I created, Clarity Beyond Deception. It's an art piece, it's a moving prayer, and it's basically what has been helping me transition and pivot out of 2025 and come into 2026. So this is beyond a DJ set. This is me sharing how, just like you, I am sure, have been tying up loose ends, been adjusting, shedding, moving, turning victimization into more of a discerning energy, more of owning the energy instead of pointing the fingers, instead of saying the poor me's, instead of living in the deception of thinking that people have power over you, that situations and experiences have power over you. When you're finally taking ownership of yourself and no longer blaming another, you feel this wholesomeness coming through your body, moving through your veins. And it's like a celebration of life because you no longer feel the chains, the deception of chains, the deception of feeling small, the deception of feeling like you aren't worthy enough for these creations that you want to create, the money that you want to bring into your life, or the friendships. Like, it is all just in a deception telling you that you are small, but in reality, you are this big, bright light. And we're going to get clear on that exact clarity of switching that narrative of no longer pointing the finger at anybody else, but owning it for yourself so that you can move on with more ease and more grace. So grab your tea, grab your crystals, whatever you need to get grounded, and let's dive in.
In your divine essence you shine. In your divine essence you thrive. I'm your host Riss, and you're listening to Essence Podcast.
All right, so today's drink is not a mimosa. It is a toast. If you haven't had a toast before, it is this yummy, sparkling tea. As you can see, I already finished a bottle a while ago, and then I repurposed it and used it to grow some new plants. I love my plants. My plants love me. I'm the Capricorn earth sign, so of course it works out well. But I mean, you don't have to be an earth sign to have communication and love with plants. But anyways, I just wanted to show you that this toast is what I'm sipping on. But I think this glass is so cute because it says mimosa made me do it. And it's like an upside down cowgirl, like in her whole element. It's a vibe. And I've been sipping on this sparkling tea in this champagne glass to like bring some Aphrodite energy, some love to myself and to my day. It's a Tuesday that I'm recording this, and I'm like, you know what? I'd rather sip on something cute on a Tuesday when the energy sometimes feels heavy. Tuesday's also governed by Mars energy, and we can feel it, right? We can just feel the like masculine push. We're just like moving through some nitty gritty energy. Tuesdays just tend to feel that way. And we have to change it up. It's up to us. to change up the rhythm, to change up the dynamic. This is already me talking about clarity beyond deception, because it's deceiving that we must repeat Tuesday like last Tuesday. That Tuesday comes after Monday. It's like, we already have a hard time liking Mondays, so Tuesday is just another like day where we show up, whether to our 9 to 5, whether to our routine, whatever it is. We are surrounded by this energy. I mean, if you live in a neighborhood, if you live in a city, you feel the hustle and bustle all around you. You feel your neighbor's energy. You feel the energy across the street. I live across from like a busy market area, so like there's a pavilions which is a food place, like a food grocery market, and then I live next to like a dollar store and 2 gas stations, and it's like a busy street with constant hustle and bustle energy that it's inevitable that it's going to radiate to me, and I'm going to feel this. So with this, I toast to a Tuesday being more about a different energy, intentionally creating something different, and buying myself something yummy, something beautiful, drinking it in something yummy. And this morning, I also took a bath. I don't usually take baths on Tuesdays. This is what I'm saying. I don't take baths on Tuesdays. I usually save that for Fridays, because Fridays is Venus Day. But Tuesday, today just needed some more love. There is something about today that needed more love, more light. And this goes for any day, right? Like, it's not just a Tuesday that feels wonky, but it's like a Wednesday sometimes. Thursdays, it's all right. Like, we feel a little happier that it's almost the weekend. But why must we be in this rhythmic pace where we feel like so blah, energy, but then by the time we get to the end of the week, we feel like, oh, thank God, we're free. There's liberation. There's like time for us to just be ourselves. Like, we forget about ourselves during the week when we get lost in our own sauce, when we get lost in our own routine, and thinking that we must copy and paste that reality into this one. And I digress, but I suggest whatever day of the week it is for you that you're listening to this, that you attend to your needs, that you attend to yourself. You give yourself the Aphrodite energy you need. This is a constant reminder for my own self, because I'm a Capricorn ruled by Saturn. My rising is a Scorpio ruled by Mars. So I just got all this type of energy that's always like on the go. It's always like, okay, let's be serious and make these things happen. But when it comes to like the love, the joy, the pleasure, I have to consciously make an effort to do that. And once I do, I get into that rhythm. It starts to stay. Like, it feels like I sprinkled pixie dust on my day. And even though Mars energy, like on a Tuesday, still feels pretty heavy and dense, I can still feel it, but it doesn't truly affect me because I'm light on my feet. I choose to be light on my feet instead of so aggressive, right? And there's nothing wrong with aggressiveness. There's nothing wrong with Mars, because we need Mars. That's how we get shit done. That's how I'm here getting shit done still, like recording this episode and showing up for you. It's about doing it with grace. It's about doing it with like love and with Aphrodite energy. Aphrodite is a goddess who is just about that pleasure. It's about that feeling yourself energy. So why not embody it on a day that feels like it could be shit, but you decide, you say, no, I don't want it to be. And you change the energy. But now just pivot up and to switch it up a little, not too much, because that it makes sense, right? Like, that's just how we can become deceived. We want to see that clarity beyond the deception. So this moves me to now talk about the DJ set that I recorded. So earlier in 2025, I'd say like September-ish, I was already getting this like beautiful image of performing a set called Clarity Beyond Deception. I had a little playlist I was putting together, just finishing up creating a playlist for Halloween time because this was September, prepping for October. But I was still working on a mix, so it was like certain songs that I was feeling that was bringing me more of this liberation state, was telling me it's okay, that all will be well. So these are the songs that I picked for this mix. And these songs are what helped me move through 2025. I'm pretty sure, just like myself, for you too, there might have been a few or a lot of pivotal moments, more than usual in 2025. It was like very denser days. I don't know if that's a word, denser, but like it felt just like the notch of denseness was like, let's just turn it up. Let's get these humans to feel very like, oh, they have to push the weight a little more. Like we were having to adjust things, and it was heavy. It was hard. So even this throws me a little bit off topic, but like even with the Halloween show that my boyfriend throws every year, last year it was a little bit wonky. Like we did such a good show in 2024, but 2025 it was so hard to find a venue. It was so hard to get people to show up, and the energy just wasn't matching the frequency of what we expected. I think that's where it's at. It was an energy that we didn't expect. It was an energy that felt like in 2024, like we had it under control and that we would see the light of day. But then it felt like, wait, I don't think I have this, like I don't think I have the strength for this as much. So that's kind of what 2025 felt like. And I mean, the more that we went through the seasons and in the months, it started to feel a little lighter. We were feeling a little more hope. I think for me too, I was like, 2026 is going to feel like a lot more lighter. It's going to feel a lot more at ease and more grace. And this is me speaking which is 2026 now, but speaking the year into existence. That was already me pivoting the way that I spoke about the future. And Clarity Beyond Deception helped me find more of that equilibrium, that balance. And so every song that I would bring in felt like medicine to the playlist. It felt like it was coming home to myself and learning that no matter where I'm at, I am going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to get through this. And it became a moving prayer. Because also last year, there was a lot of deception that was being played even through my relationships. Number one, foundation, which I've been talking about for quite a long time here on this podcast, is my relationship with my dad. For so long, unraveling, when you go through your healing journey, you're unraveling and you're taking out all these spinas, these like splinters basically in Spanish, spinas out of like your soul. You're pulling all these parts of you that were poking you, that you were not aware of, that felt uncomfortable. And when you start to go through that healing journey and start to pull out these experiences and these memories, it's kind of inevitable as like a human that we will start to consume ourselves with it. Like we'll start to be like, whoa, that really happened to me. We start to turn ourselves into victimization. We start to blur the lines while we're in our healing process. And it's subconscious now. I had been doing that for a lot of 2025, me saying like, okay, my dad did that, like pointing the finger out, dissecting it. And my body, not only did my mind already like start to like do all that, but it trained my body to respond that way. So whenever I'd get a memory, when you're washing the dishes or when you're cooking, when you're just in this like la-da-da state, driving, you're just in autopilot and you start to get memories or like random conversations back or random feelings back. During those times of having those autopilot moments, I would see that I would get like one of the experiences back of how I felt about my dad. Like something about that layer of me and feeling that way about my dad coming back into my brain. And I'd feel this ego part of me try to protect myself. I would hear my own inner ego, my protector energy telling me like, well, it's not okay that he treated you that way. Well, he's giving you a hard time, and do you even feel like you belong? It's like all these negative voices, right, that you're like reflecting on, well, that I was reflecting on, and it starts to get at you. You start to play this loop. And the ego tries to protect you. It tries to put a scenario together of, if next time this happens, you're going to be more prepared. Next time this happens, you get to stand up. And like, it's just like, we're putting this whole narrative together to protect ourselves. And I was going through that mind-body connection that was deceiving me every time. I would fall into that trap. And while coming into just even having this performance recently of me creating clarity beyond deception, and while having this pivotal shift, I've been able to now see that when those memories come into my forefront and start to play a whole scenario, when they start to like have energy come to me that feels so low, I've been having to train myself to step back, to take a step back and look at myself receiving this, and then to respond differently. It's like basically I'm talking to myself and hearing myself at the same time. Like there's two conscious parts of me. And it's real. That's like what happens, right? We have our subconscious, and then we have this like higher consciousness that we're like, no, we want to shift. I just felt like a ringing in my ear, and like my crown chakra just like shoot up right now. And this is so accurate and very true for all of us, is that we have two voices talking to us. We have our subconscious mind. We have this survival ego mind of us protecting us. And then on the other side, we have our higher self. We have this subtle voice, the divinity within ourselves talking to us and helping us change the narrative, helping us go beyond deception, helping us go beyond the trap that's been keeping us in the loop. And just this morning, actually, this is funny because I think this wraps up all together. Just this morning is when I had one of those moments. While I was making breakfast, I was hearing a scenario about my dad in my head. I was hearing a feeling that was coming through, like playing out, where I was protecting myself from my dad and I was standing up for myself. I was saying to myself that, I might be the black sheep of the family. I might be somebody different, but this is who I am. Like, it's just like these protection talks that are happening. And I stepped out of my own way of like what's happening, the communication between this pattern. And I decided, I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter what he thinks. I call back my energy. I love myself, and I'm a great creator. I am a great person. I live a great life. I looked around my whole room, and I looked around the kitchen, and I looked at the fridge because we have all these like different magnets, and I was just like, this is my life and I love it. I actually feel really comfortable here. I'm safe here. I feel like I belong right here. And it helped me come back into my present moment. It helped me stop playing these voices in my head, and it helped me wake up. It helped me come to my present moment. And every step of the way of today became wake up, switch the energy. Like, coming back to the present moment, which led into my sparkling tea moment. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drink some tea, sparkling tea in this champagne glass today. And you know what? I feel like taking a bath. I feel like going into the bath, putting some Epsom salt, because I'm also really sore because I just did solid core, like this really intense Pilates, Legree, basically. And my body was really sore too. So I was like, you know what? We're going to attend to the body. We're going to attend to ourselves. The Aphrodite energy is going to come early, and it's going to come on a Tuesday. And that's exactly how I pivot the energy. And all it takes is just that moment of choosing something different instead of getting in your own way. There are times when I do get in my own way where I'm like, but I have to do this, but I have to like clean my whole house before I actually have fun, before I actually get to make another yummy meal. I need to clean this whole kitchen. I'm like that hard on myself where I'm like, but you need to do this, this, and this first. Like that was also part of my programming as a child, was like, get this, this, and this done. Then you can have the freedom. Then you can have the pleasure. And as an adult, I'm like, hail to the no. I get to have the pleasure now. And I will still clean the house later. But right now, I want the pleasure. And I can have it now. Like, I don't need to wait till everything's put together in its perfect place and everything is in order, because then it takes forever. Then I will never get to the pleasure. And what am I trying to do with my life? I'm trying to manifest pleasure. So don't put your pleasure on hold. Do not put your pleasure on hold. Aphrodite, when she's calling, you answer. That means taking that bath. That means getting yourself a nice, yummy drink. That means pivoting the energy. And you can stop deceiving yourself. You can stop putting the blame on anything outside of you. Those relationships that you're maybe healing from, those patterns, that job, you can let it go. Stop putting the blame on those scenarios and those experiences, because they actually helped you grow. Like, they actually got you where you needed to go. Like, at the end of the day, like, thanks, Dad, for having me, for getting it on with my mom, TMI, but like, thanks for doing all you did, because here I am living a really great life, and it just keeps getting better. And it's inevitable. We go through the challenges. It's inevitable. Life is not going to be perfect. And my dad's role as a father was not perfect. It's inevitable that we become these imperfect people. But through our own greatest journey of being our own greatest case study, we get to like pivot that energy. We get to say, hey, I choose something different. I can choose something different, because that obviously didn't really work out. Like that, how that raising scenario went down as a child didn't work out. So when I have kids, I think I'd rather consciously start to make different choices. And that's how you, like, if you've ever seen on Instagram when people are pouring this like dirty, murky water into a cup, and then they like pour some more water, and then they pour some more, like they're like putting a cup, and it's supposed to like resemble the generations of our family, and clearing out the murky water, doing our part in healing, and so on. And I feel like I've done my part in the healing process with my inner child and the way that I was raised. And because I've been able to do so much of that, we don't stay there in the murkiness. We have clarity. We know now what was not right for us, that didn't feel right for us, that wasn't our truth. We know now. Now we can take the stinger out. I always pull this card because this is kind of, I think, I have to go more into my astrology, but I do feel like there's like Chiron is like a wounded healer. It's like, I really would love to explain this to you, but look up Chiron. And it represents this wounded healer in our chart. And I feel like Chiron plays like a really big part in my journey. I feel like I'm going always into this layer of healing, but I stay there kind of in the wound. And I need to learn how to like get myself out of the wound and get into the place of where I can detach from it so I can heal fully from it and not become the victim. Anyways, it becomes a whole like spiral debacle that I'm learning. I'm only 30 and that's still young. All right, that is still young. I still got a whole life to live to understand and learn what Chiron is doing in my chart. And I hope that you can look in yours and just see what Chiron does for you and learn a little bit about it, because there's something to just about that wounded healer that it could be a little bit more recognized so we don't fall into the trap of victimization. And what I was going to also say is that there's a card that I always pull that is in my spirit animal deck. It's an oracle deck, and it's Wasp Spirit. I feel like Wasp Spirit is very relatable to everyone who's been hurt before, or anyone going through a scenario where it plays itself out, where we become in the spiral of constantly being deceived by this wound. And it represents how we can become stung by something, just like a wasp, and we stay with that stinger. Basically, that spina gets stuck inside of us, and we live with that story. We say it all the time. We're like repeating that same narrative as if we haven't moved on from it. It sits with us where we're like, it still hurts. And we eventually take out the spina. We take out the wasp stinger eventually, because we're talking about it. Like, that's how you heal from it, right? Is you let it go, you express it. And so that pretty much dissolves. That spina dissolves, but we literally act like it's still there. We act and feel like it's still hurting us. And it's not. That's a full circle moment right there. Is like that stinger no longer exists. So why am I still playing it out? There's no need for that. I know that my ego, our ego, loves to protect us. So there is going to be something I got to work through to help that ego out, because obviously I still talk to my dad. I still have a bit of a connection. We're still learning how to grow and repurpose this relationship. But I don't need to react from a wounded place. I can react from a place of integrity now. It's a matter of pivoting and changing that victim mentality into more of like, no, I got this. No, I can do this. No, this has nothing to do with my past. I have everything I need right now. And that is all. Once you can do that for yourself, you will start to see your whole world change. Not overnight. Don't expect this to be a fast change overnight. When you're creating an intentional life, it doesn't happen that way, because we are still sometimes creating from like our past, where we're like, we want it out of like an ego-based place, or we want it now because it's going to like help us survive. But Spirit knows the way. Spirit knows how this is going to take place. So the more that you can also surrender to that process, you can receive more clarity. You can receive more of what is actually aligned with you. So before we go, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to place your hand on your stomach and on your heart. And I want you to breathe with me. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Breathing in through the nose. And exhale out. Last time, breathing in. And exhale, let it go. Do a little wiggle, shake it out. Ugh. Yes. Keep your eyes closed, and I want you to repeat after me. I allow myself to no longer be deceived. I choose to make a conscious effort and create my own reality. Yes, 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 yes. So be it. Beautiful. Well, Soul Babes, if you found this episode helpful, please give this video a like, share it with your loved ones, let them know that they do not have to stay in that spiraling mentality, that they can find their way out of 2025. They're safe to create something different from their friends, from their family, from their parents. They have permission to do so. You have permission to do so. We all do. So I hope this message finds you well again. And if you would like to hear more about being in your essence, be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Essence of Riss. And you can also find more Essence podcast episodes on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And lastly, if you want to know more about how to connect with me and all of my other services, be sure to go to my website at essenceofriss.com. And I'll see you in the next one, Soul Babes. Bye for now.